Well, race fans, welcome aboard as we are live from down here at Winter Dirt Games 13 at Bubba Raceway Park, getting set to go here. This is the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship on night number 1, which is a practice night, so no competition taking place tonight. We are live on the old Facebooks there. For those of you sitting out in the stands, you're going to get to join in on this as well, and we encourage you to join in. You can watch on Flow Racing this entire weekend. Next weekend, back in action again with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Cars. We'll be out here for 3 nights of racing. 1 night of practice on Wednesday night. We'll probably broadcast a little bit of that. And then 3 nights of racing action next weekend as well. But it's good to see everybody sitting out here in the stands joining us from the campground. But thanks for joining us on this Facebook Live as well. We are underway with our practice session tonight. We're going to practice for a couple hours here. We're only going to broadcast about an hour of this. So far, Mitchell Moles is the quickest in the practice session, a 14.929. Now, again, we're only on about, what, practice session number 3? Yeah, 3, something like that. So we're still working the track in. We got a ways to go yet. Track record, for those of you curious about it, want to keep track at home, Tanner Thorson set that back in 2020, a 13.724, 13.724, and we had an opportunity to chat with him earlier today, and he's got himself a pretty good hot rod coming down here hot off a Chili Bowl win, so will be one to watch. There's no doubt about it. He'll be in action again next weekend with the sprint car as well. Also in action down with the All-Star Circuit of Champions on Monday and Tuesday, so you can watch that on Flow Racing as we broadcast from down at East Bay Raceway Park, looking to get some racing action in down there, and I believe the weather looking good at East Bay for the 410s of the All-Stars, the Flow Racing All-Stars, so that'll be fun. Let me do a little refresh here on my screen, see if I can get the Facebook fired up. I'm going to be watching on the Flow Racing side of things. We encourage you to watch along on USAC Racing also. Follow along with USAC Nation. Holy smokes, it's working. We'd love to talk to you, chat with you. Again, we're going to be live here for a little while. Cut them loose. This again, session number 4. We're looking at, we have about 24, I think, midgets checked in for racing action out here this weekend. We have a huge rookie contingency out here this year and going into the 2022 season as we set them on through. Kaylee Bryson second, quick. Buddy Kofoid, the number 67, just flashed through there. He goes into the number 2 spot, your defending champ in the series for Buddy Kofoid. So USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship Series. Still not into that top spot for the number 67. So Mitchell Moles looking pretty stout out here earlier on. Again, thanks so much for joining us on this Facebook Live. We're racing tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern Standard Times, when racing action starts tomorrow night and Saturday night. So we send them around here a few more times. On through the number 25 out here, Taylor Reimer. We'll be running for Rookie of the Year honors as well. We'll have to deliver a message to this gentleman. But Taylor Reimer getting back behind the wheel of a race car there, well, late last season out Turkey Night Grand Prix. You saw her start on the front row with Kaylee Bryson, both of them racing with us here this weekend. And Reimer will be running a full season with the winningest woman racer at Port City Raceway in the micros. If you know anything about micro racing, you know anything about Port City, which is broadcast on Flow Racing as well, you know there is a wealth of talent to be found down there, and Taylor Reimer is right there in the mix and has probably in the neighborhood of 50 feature event wins at that racetrack, and now comes out and joins us in the midget after a little bit of a hiatus. Took kind of the high school years off, but she is out here with us. Ethan Mitchell goes to the top of the stack, the 19M car, into that number 1 spot for the Mooresville, North Carolina racer, Bundy Built Motorsports, number 19M. So Ethan Mitchell on to the point. So word on the streets is they let Bundy loose. He escaped the hospital yesterday. That's good to hear. Back at home again, so a shout out. And glad you're doing a lot better. Glad you're out and about. And Ethan Mitchell down here laying down a 14.869 lap time. So Mitchell into the top spot, 67 to Buddy Kofoid second. Quick Mitchell Moles, the 89 car we were talking about, coming out here making a little bit of a midget debut, as if we will, down here in Florida. I believe his first visit to Bubba Raceway Park for the Raisin City, California racer, and you know him from, well, some drillers and so on and so forth down at the shootout, but builds micros for a living. This will be his rookie season with the USAC Midgets. Had a third-place finish out of Turkey Night last year, and what a race that was. So a lot of history was made, but again, thanks so much for joining us. I'm stalling because I'm trying to get my Facebook going up here. Here we go. Forrest Hubert tuned in, watching from out in western New York. Thank you so much for joining us. Scottsburg, Indiana, checking in. Dana Lewis, hopefully not buried underneath 14 inches of snow or something like that. They had a bit of a debacle out there in the snow category. Rob Oompa, thanks so much for joining us. We were up at All-Tech last night talking about All-Tech, good modified racing taking place up there with the Short Track Super Series. We broadcast their entire season on Flow Racing, but my goodness, you talk about some lead changes and everything else. You have a chance, you can go back and watch that in the on-demand, but they're racing again tonight up there. So if you're looking for racing action, tuned in, watching on Flow Racing. Something else I want to point out, everybody kind of forgets about this, but the Flow Racing subscription a year, it's like $150 for the year. It's good for everything on the Flow Sports Network. Everything. So if you like football or grappling or hockey or baseball or what have you, it's all part of that subscription, so take full advantage of as we bring out another session onto the racetrack. Hayden Reinbold comes out, the 19 AZ car out of Arizona. The Royersford Rocket out of Royersford, Pennsylvania. Steve Buckwalter in the 25B. Oliver Akerd from down here in Florida. I believe our lone Florida entry out here this weekend to drive behind the wheel of the number 41 car. Fort Myers, Florida is where he calls home. Finished 14th in the midgets back in 2020. Was he here in 2021? May have taken last year off. He was here, unfortunately missed the feature event. So missed the feature event, but he's back here with us again. So good to have our lone Florida entry out rolling around the racetrack. Logan Seavey joins us, the number 25 car. One of two racers that we are, for sure, we know are going for that Triple Crown here this year. So if you win a championship across USAC Silver Crown, the midgets, and the sprint cars, it's a $300,000 bonus, I believe, or something of that nature. Total. $200,000 bonus, $300,000 total in all the winnings, but there's also a bonus going out if you can win 2 championships. So Logan Seavey definitely wanted to keep an eye on there. That number 25 car picked up the Silver Crown Rookie Year and Western World Sprint Championships last year. And correct me if I'm wrong, Richie, I believe the first driver in USAC history to win all 3 finals across all 3 major on dirt, across all 3 major divisions on dirt. So picked up the Silver Crown final at the Eldora, and then he picked up the Western World Sprint Car, and then Turkey Night Midget. He was the winner there as well. So all 3 on dirt. First one in the history of USAC, which goes back a long way. So send him on around. T-Mez out here. Thomas Mesrall, 7X car, doing a little something special for us. We don't know if it's going to work or not, but we got him mic'd up in his race car, and he's going to talk us through some laps out here in this practice session as he rattles her down into turn number 1 and 2 and onto the back straightaway. So T-Mez, that could go either way. It could be family friendly, or it could very much not be family friendly. When he comes out there, we're going to find out. Mitchell still atop the stack. The old Honda, whenever she's running, man, she is a hot two-trot machine, no doubt about it. So send him around here a few more times. Boom, Seavey, top of the stack, 14.843, 14.843 for Logan Seavey in the 25 car. Puts her on to the point. Mitchell bumped down to second quick now. Kofoid, Mitchell Moles, Emerson Axum now your top 5. Axum, the 39 BC. Also running a sprint car this season. The Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series again in action with them next weekend here for Winter Dirt Games 13 at Bubba Raceway Park. That'll be racing for the sprint cars. Will be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So 3 days of racing for sprints. As they are starting to hammer around, T-Mez got himself onto the point now. 14.561. Mike throws the old checkered flag. Now slow and low the field. So now T-Mez up top, 14.561. Logan Seavey second quick. Ethan Mitchell into the number 3 spot. Buddy Kofoid, Mitchell Moles, your top 5. Emerson Axum bumped down to 6 quick. Brenham Crouch, Kaylee Bryson, Jace Park, and Hayden Reinbold. Now round out the field. Go back to the Facebook Live. Yes, T-Mez on a hot mic could be interesting. It's recorded, so we can beep some stuff if we have to. Bob Gerald just got his wish. He was tuned in to watch Team Ez. Boom, wish granted. It's that easy, folks. Just checking out some of the banners around here. NOS Energy Drink, AMSoil, Steel It's, which is a paint you can actually weld over top of that paint. I remember so many days grinding so my dad could weld something for me, and now you can just paint it with Steel It and weld right over the top of it. It's a nice finish, too. I saw it that's on the push bumpers of your quads, isn't it? Uh-huh. See that? So once again, follow along with USAC Racing on Facebook as Lebanon, Pennsylvania tunes in. Linda Collin, thank you so much for joining us. But follow along with Flow Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can follow along with USAC Racing on Facebook. On Twitter, it's USAC Nation, and then the website USAC Racing, I believe also on Instagram as well for USAC, as Richie puts out some awesome, awesome content. And I'm not saying that because he's sitting next to me. So number 40 car down into turn number 1 and 2, Chase Mcdermott coming out of Springfield, Illinois. He's a 3-time and actually defending Badger Midget champ behind the wheel of the number 40 car, and we'll be up in the Badger Midget territory at Angel Park for a couple of times. I think 2 stops on USAC's schedule this year. Angel Park, the Fireman's Speedway up there. So looking forward to visiting with them, where you can also find a Midget Hall of Fame. So if you get a chance, make sure you visit the Midget Hall of Fame when you go up there. But that's the number 40 car we're talking about there, Chase Mcdermott. Mount Stout Motorsports, one of 2 entries out here this weekend. New sponsor for the 08 car this season, the old Crescent Tool 08 out of Bixby, Oklahoma. That's Ken McIntosh and the Dave Mack Dolby Motorsports. And Robert Dolby had a chance to chat with him down the pit area earlier on and said that he finds just as much joy crew chiefing on these race cars, loves working on the race cars, and he said people find that hard to believe, but really enjoys what he's doing. He's teamed up with Dave Mack, and now the Dave Mack Dolby Motorsports will be sporting 2 midgets out here on the national tour, and Ken McIntosh will be a regular driver. The other midget will have a rotating driver schedule, I guess is what we're going to call it. But Ken McIntosh picking up that 2019 Shamrock Classic Championship, which the Shamrock Classic coming up before too awful long, and tickets are on sale now. And if I know Lauren, if you purchase your tickets in advance, you probably get like cool T-shirts and some other stuff like that too, and get reserved seats for Shamrock Classic. But this year it's a 2-day show with the micros, and that's coming up in March, I think March 10th and 11th, or around there somewhere. 11th, 12th, I was close. That's why Richie's here, to keep me straight. So March 11th and 12th, but tickets are on sale. And I think it's shamrockclassicduquoin.com is the place to go to purchase your tickets. That was from memory. Did you like that? Ha! Yeah, the old mine's still the steel trap it never was. So Team Ez, 14.561. Logan Seavey second quick. Ethan Mitchell, Buddy Kofoid, and Mitchell Moles, your top 5 as it sits. And look at that glorious, gorgeous number 41 car right there. Still back around. Green flag going to come out. Throttle them up, cut them loose. 83 car out here with us. Dominic Gordon out of Clovis, California. Running for CB Industries. Chad Boat putting together some beautiful, beautiful rides. And I believe all rookies across the board with him. But Dominic Gordon will be his rookie season with USAC Midgets. Finished, actually got into the C-Main, his first Chili Bowl. So his very first visit to the Chili Bowl made to C-Main, which is something impressive to say the least. But Gordon's going to be fun to watch in that 83. Looking to hopefully run the entire season with us. Throttle him on through. Ken McIntosh keeping company down the back straightaway. We're going to see a brace breakout. There's a big old slide job down into the corner in the practice sessions. Ken McIntosh just kind of hucked it in there, and the 40 car is going to hang tight with him. Down into turn number 1 and 2. It's Mcdermott. We'll watch him recede into the distance. Got one pulling to the infield. So, again, practice session here tonight. That's all it is. We should see some of the other categories coming out. Three-quarter modifieds will be the support class this weekend. Racing action will start at 6:30 Eastern Time tomorrow and Saturday. You can join us on Flow Racing. And then don't forget to join us on Flow Racing for the All-Star Circuit of Champions on Monday and Tuesday. We'll be back again with the AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series next weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have Big Block Mods, or the Short Track Super Series. We call them Big Block Mods. Actually, most of them are small blocks these days, but hey, big blocks are allowed. Small block seems to be the package to beat, but Short Track Super Series in action up at Alltech Raceway, a beautiful, beautiful racetrack up in Lake City, Florida. It's not too, it's called an hour north of here. Let's hang on to it. 57 car went a bit rogue right there, or 52 rather. A lot of good racing action to see on Flow Racing. We'll kick back over to our Facebook Live, see who's talking to me. Randy Hobson says the video is kind of blurry. Well, Randy, I got bad news for you. Facebook will change the output of the video to match your internet, so you might have too many people on your Wi-Fi. So J-Lo wondering how KTJ just qualified. He didn't qualify. This is a practice session. Someone else is practicing his car. He'll be out here racing with us this weekend for Kevin Thomas Jr. But his car, they're putting it around a racetrack. And again, a little shakedown. This is the first race of the season for him. So that is not KTJ in that car, but that is the car he will be racing this weekend. So that should help you out a little bit. Richie checking in. Not the Richie next to me. It's a different Richie. My goodness, that is a bright flashlight you got here. Wow. It's like the surface of the sun in a toilet paper tube. Rachel, you are correct. Rachel says the 41 is gorgeous, and happy birthday, Ollie Man. But you are correct. That is a beautiful, beautiful race car. Maple Shade, New Jersey, checking in. Mike Abe, thank you for joining us on the old Facebook Live here. If you're watching on Flow Racing, that's one I'm looking at. Actually, let me bounce over to USAC Racing and see what that one. I don't want to miss anybody over there. Again, we encourage you to follow along with Flow Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Follow along with the USAC Racing. I got myself lost there. Holy smokes, I flip over to USAC Racing. Very first comments from Jamie Belfiore. How you doing? Long time no talk to. Deborah Bryant, thanks for joining us out here. Steve Pate Jr. checking out Facebook Live. So anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Flow Racing, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And then on YouTube. Follow along with USAC Racing across all the above as well. It's USAC Nation on Twitter is the place to go, and that's where the lineups will be posted and finishes and so much more cool stuff throughout the course of the season across all three of the USAC national divisions. But this weekend, as I was saying, we're down here with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship racing tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time, and then on Saturday at 6:30 Eastern Time. And then next week, we'll be racing on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with the AMSOIL National Sprint Car Series. This 39 BC car makes his way out onto the racetrack. Emerson Axum coming out. His dad and mom down in the pit with him. And I believe this weekend it's just he and his dad. His dad, quite the wrench on these race cars, as evidenced by some of the success Emerson has had throughout the course of his budding career, I guess is what we're going to call it. But he's going to be fun to watch. He's 7th quick coming out into this practice session. He's already been out on the racetrack once. So we'll send him on around. Boy, a bad boy just singing a merry tune down into the corner. Timez is your quickest we've seen out here in the practice session thus far. Logan Seavey, Cannon McIntosh, your top three. Ethan Mitchell bumped down to 4th quick. Buddy Kofoid now rounding out the top 5. With Keith Coons Motorsports, I believe 7 or 8 entries. They may have 8 entries coming out here this for the National Midget Series. Taylor Reimer, the one you're watching down into the corner as we speak, the number 25 car. On to the front, shooting again, the winningest woman racer at Port City. I'm going to talk about that tonight. I'll probably talk about this weekend, and then I don't know if that'll come up again or not. Just know that she is a bad hombre behind the wheel of a midget. As evidenced last year at the West Coast Swing, which was where she kind of joined in for the first time, but checkered flag coming out. Reimer into the number 12 spot. Kaylee Bryson, 11th. Quick Jade Avedisian right there as well. 10th, 11th, and 13th now is Dominic Gordon able to squeak up through. So Team is still the quickest out here in this practice session, a 14.561, 14.561. And again, track record, Tanner Thorson set it back in 2020, a 13.724. Which Kevin Thomas Jr., we're talking about him. He'll be racing with us again tomorrow night, and that'll be the opening night of the season will be tomorrow. That's the official opening. And so far, coming down here, he has opened up 3 seasons consecutively as your quick qualifier. If he does it again this year, that'll be 4 in a row. First driver to do so. That's a cool scooter you got, Drake. Runs good downhill. There, he kicked it in neutral. Paul checking in. Thanks so much for the kind words. Appreciate it. Richie Rankin. Yes, this is the USAC Midgets. This is the National Series. The USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship Series. USAC, a couple of different series out there floating around. And somebody that I recommend we get on the Loud Pedal podcast is Jessica Bean. I don't think they've talked to Jessica Bean just yet, but didn't she just wrapped up a 5th consecutive championship, if I'm not mistaken, out on the East Coast. I saw her in action out at the Pink Lady Classic up in Oregon. But if you're talking about lady racers and midgets, Jessica Bean's name should be at the top of that list. She is a force to contend with on the pavement. So shout out to Jessica if she's tuned in watching on the broadcast. So Devin, are you having a good time? Devin, I got to tell you this. Devin produces the broadcast for USAC, and unfortunately last year they out on the West Coast Spring, he blew the turbo up on his van coming back east. He had that baby foot to the mat on the thing, just not cutting it any slack, and he done blowed it up out in Kingman, Arizona. So he likes to get with the program too, so we'll have him back in motion here before too awful long, hopefully. The squirrel got out of the cage. I think that's how you put that. So Buddy Kofoid coming back out onto the racetrack, the number 67 car down into turn number 1 and 2. And again, that's your defending champ, 2021 USAC Midget National Champ. Won the 2 opening nights of the inaugural Wild Wing Shootout. If you remember that, and unfortunately the Wild Wing Shootout due to COVID did not happen last year. It will happen, I understand. Well, I can't. I'm getting ahead of myself. Keep your eyes out for the Wild Wing Shootout. That's a big flow racing deal, too, out in Arizona. Might be at a new place. We'll see. Send them on around. 71 car. Kaylee Bryson, Muskogee, Oklahoma racer. Keith Coons, Kerbag, Agenia, number 71. Makes her way out of turn number 4 and onto the front straightaway. Sends it on through, and she had herself inside the top 10 there for a little bit. Got bumped down to 11th quick now, 15.255 for Kaylee Bryson. She was the first woman to make a Chili Bowl A main, but has been so good down in the Tulsa Expo Center and so good on the racetrack. Really picked up the pace at the end of the last year, and again started on the front row. Had a top 5 finish at Turkey Night Grand Prix out at Ventura Raceway. Has kind of found her stride here in the midgets. And I understand may be making a sprint car start sometime this season. We'll just leave it at that. You can follow along with Kaylee Bryson on her social media as well. Keith Coons and the team down there getting that baby cranking along down the back chute. Send it down into the corner. She running and gunning back behind. I believe that might be the 71E just in front. I'm still learning what the cars look like out here, but if it is, that's Mariah Eade. Hang on, let me take a little peeky-poo as she comes on through. I believe that's Mariah. No, that's 71K. No, that's E. Can you see it on the camera? Is that Mariah Eade? Yeah, it's Mariah Eade. So Mariah Eade coming off the West Coast as well, and that's one of those racers that everybody's like, who's Mariah Eade? And I'll tell you how you know her. She comes from a racing family with a long and storied history. Her grandfather owned a Silver Crown team that actually Jeff Gordon and Ryan Newman both raced for her grandfather. Her dad on that crew as well, so long history with the USAC. But Mariah out here with us this weekend. The 71E will be running on the rookie season as well, the National Series. Her family, a long history of racing. She is at least third generation. 3 sisters as well. All 3 sisters are into horses. She said she's the only one that wants to race. So I forgot to ask what kind of horses. Knowing that family, quick ones. Mike, you doing all right? All good to go. You don't wear a hat or anything, do you? You're tough. Are you from Florida originally? Really? My goodness. I'm from further north, and I have to bundle up down here. I am absolutely going to destroy this name, and I apologize, but is it Peto Soto? Peto Soto? Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast as we now officially have people tuned in from Argentina, an absolutely gorgeous country that I have not yet visited, but I have seen so many pictures and film. But thanks for joining us on the broadcast here. Gary Ball tuning in from Williamsville, Illinois. And, well, thank you so much, Gary. I appreciate it. It's good to be here. So we got our Facebook. I can't keep up with everything. We're broadcasting on USAC Racing. We're also on the Flow Racing page. And, again, follow along with USAC Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at USAC Nation, the YouTube channel, and follow along with Flow Racing on all the above as well. Flow Racing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And I'll also take this opportunity while we're idling the cars around here to remind you that your Flow Racing subscription is good for absolutely everything on the Flow Sports Network. Everything. There's one of the cars going down in the corner I'd like to talk about is the 2J of Justin Grant. I own California Racers, currently down at the top of turn number 2. New wrap. The wrap is kind of sort of the same wrap he had last year, except this year it is a matte color on it, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. But Justin Grant's going to be one to watch. Super license winner last year, ran and actually had started in all 93 events, national events. This year, I think it's like 99 on the schedule. He will be starting in all 99, and he, one of the other drivers, I talked about Logan Seavey, but Justin Grant is going to be one to watch, 2020 USAC Silver Crown champ. But he is going for all 3 championships this year as well, and he is definitely a threat to do that. And again, a bonus going out if they win 2 of the 3 championships. But keep your eye on the NOS Energy Drink number 2 J car, Justin Grant. Very, very good no matter what he's behind the wheel of. A couple years back was one of the only drivers to win across all 3 national divisions. So we send him down through. It's a 25 car, just went across the line there. Sutter, California's Logan Seavey. So there's your two Triple Crown threats on the track as we speak. Speaking of threats, there's Tanner Thorson out on a racing surface. The number 19 car, Thorson, coming off that Chili Bowl win. And again, track record holder here at Bubba Raceway Park. And this track, if you have an opportunity, you need to get on Google and just Google Bubba Raceway Park and then look at a satellite image of this racetrack. It was a very, very unique shape. At one point, it was a pavement track. They dug the pavement up, put dirt down, but it retains that pavement shape, and it's a big D shape. So the front stretch is just, well, it's sort of that. It's straightaway, but from once you get into turn number 1, it is a constant curve back to turn number 4. So you are cranking on the wheel, and that thing's in yaw all the way around. The key out here, as we learned last year from Levi Jones, is that you need to treat it like it actually has 4 corners, not 3. That's the quick way to get around a racetrack. Some of these drivers have figured that out. And if you watch Tanner Thorson at number 19, he'll head down the back straightaway, kind of drive it straight, and about right there at the NOS Energy Banner, bam, kicks that baby sideways and pretends that's actually a turn number 3, even though it doesn't look like it when you're on the racetrack. So get on the old Google satellite view and take a little peeky-poo at this before you watch the racing action here this weekend. Again, Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow and Saturday, we start at 6:30 Eastern Time here at Bubba Raceway Park for Winter Dirt Games 13. 3/4 mod's going to be the support class out here with us. 24 midgets checked in for practice session tonight. We start 22. There's going to be 2 very disappointed midgets not making a feature event tomorrow. Checkered flag comes out on this session. Timez, still your quickest lap time out here as we continue to work this track in. Beautiful, beautiful racing surface for us here. Very different dirt or clay to be found down here. It's one of those things where the grandstands, you guys be careful heading out of the grandstands. When the dew settles, this dust lays on the grandstand. When the dew settles, it gets slipperier than ice. And the racetrack much the same. But just a very unique surface, very unique shape, and a very, very cool event out here this weekend with the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship Series. Again, next weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're racing with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Car Series. And I believe UMP Modifieds will be the support class next weekend. So be a big old shindig out here at Bubba Raceway Park. Love to have you out here sitting with us in the grandstands. If not, you can join us on Flow Racing. It's a little view of the pit and staging area for those of you watching on the broadcast. Keegan down there, he was on his headset. You see that? Keegan had communication going on. So a little lull in the action. So we do have one customer. So Timez, so far, still your quickest at 14.561. Emerson Axum, the 39 BC car, second quick, 14.685. Logan Seavey, third quick. Kevin Thomas Jr., that is not him behind the wheel of the race car, but that is the car he'll be running. He was fourth quick. Mitchell Moles into the number 5 spot. Then Ethan Mitchell, Cannon McIntosh, Justin Grant, Buddy Kofoid, and Bryant Wiedemann in the 0-1 rounds out the top 10, and that was a racer that I did not talk about when he was out here. But Bryant Wiedemann, coming out of Colby, Kansas, was last year's Power Eye champ. So it'll be fun to watch out here this season. Marking his... Well, he is second year with Keith Kunz Motorsports. One of 2 Kansas racers out here with us. Or no, that's Nebraska. We have Nebraska and Kansas both represented. Which, if you're talking Midwest, you can't get any more Midi-Westy than that, in my opinion. So one contestant out here with us, that's the 97 car, and getting ready to fire up and cut her loose. Brenham Crouch, Lubbock, Texas racer, Keith Kunz, Kerbagajanian, made his debut in a wing sprint car, ASCS sprint cars, I should say, back to Copper Classic a couple years ago, but been in the midgets here for a few, and former MWRS champ. A lot of karting wins, and good wheel man. For the racer out of Tejas, he takes her down the back straightaway. Definitely we're focused on him, aren't we? A little feather of the throttle coming out turn number 4, takes it across. He's 13th quick, 15.037, 15037. His last lap of 15.143, so fairly consistent for Brenham. So he's still figuring out how to run this track. $15.096. That lap around. So he lets it sweep a little wider coming out turn number 4 at that time. Tight to the wall, try to carry a little bit more momentum, and he's quicker. He goes to 15.023, so that was his fastest lap of the night for Brenham Crouch. So something started to come to him there for the number 97. So 15.135, that last trip through there for the 97. Let him finish this out. We're going to throw a white flag on him, a checkered flag here before too awful long. I'll take this opportunity to thank you for joining us on these Facebook Lives, this live look-in at the practice session at Winter Dirt Games 13 at Bubba Raceway Park, the USAC NOS Energy Drink Midget National Championship. Again, racing action going to start tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern, on Saturday at 6:30 Eastern. Same start time, same place, for 2 nights to kick off the season here. But thank you so much for checking out this Facebook Live. We have a little lull in the action down the pit area, so we're going to shut her down. I'm going to go down and visit with some of these drivers, as we have a lot of new faces coming out here in the 2022 season. But we do thank and appreciate each and every one of you for joining us on the live look-in. Don't forget, Flow Racing, just $150 a year. Good for everything on the Flow Sports Network. Rodeo, Flow Rodeo is on there, for crying out loud, if you like rodeo. Like 40,000 hockey games. You think I'm exaggerating. I'm serious. But everything across the Flow Sports Network. Practice session is not over for those of you sitting out here in the stands. I like your jacket shirt thing you got on there, sir. The peach-collared one. That's nice. Reminds me of a dreamsicle. But anyway, thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night, either out here at Bubba Raceway Park or on Flow Racing. In the meantime, be kind, be safe, be positive, and be healthy. We'll see you mañana. Electrical is searching for all levels of industrial and commercial electricians. With opportunity for career growth and education, AME Electrical is a family-owned business with over 37 years in the industry. Relocation opportunities are available for the right candidates, with signing bonuses as well. Arizona is a hot market for construction, and AME Electrical is a big part of the current growth.